What do the countries want to achieve every time they launch a new transportation medium? Well, the answer is pretty simple: transport people from one place to another quickly. The faster the means of transportation, the more the passengers can be transportation, the more the passengers can be transported. Not only that, it will give a push to everything directly or indirectly related to transport. Employees will reach earlier, distance will be squeezed, and energy will be saved during all that. But why are we talking about that? Well, China has built a flying train that seems to break all speed records. But what features does this train have, and how does it fly? Before we go on, subscribe to Chin News to watch about other amazing projects. In this video, we will look at the flying train China is developing, which is just on another level of speed. Let's get started. Imagine if you could sit on a train and reach your destination in a blink of an eye. This might seem like a dream, but China has made this a reality, being the only country that can just build anything. China is presently developing a train that can apparently fly at a speed of 4,000 kilometers per hour. And how fast is this? Well, we have to compare it with the fastest means of transportation worldwide. High-speed rail has a speed of 320 kilometers per hour and is currently working throughout China. The fastest passenger-carrying aircraft can approach a speed of about 800 kilometers per hour. While if we talk about the bullet, it approaches the speed of 3,000 kilometers per hour, and here comes the flying train. China is developing. It leaves all of them behind with the speed of 4,000 kilometers per hour, 1,000 kilometers per hour faster than a bullet. You might be thinking, how can a train run faster than an airplane that actually flies? Well, that's the right thing to think about, and the answer is interesting. The flying train China is developing works by blending various technologies. It uses the science fiction idea of magnetic levitation, also used in bullet trains and magnetic levitation. The train doesn't touch the rails, but levitates over them due to the magnetic field. To better understand that, you can imagine seeing pools of massive magnets brought in front of each other. They won't attract. They will repel each other, and this repulsive force is used to drive the train. However, if we see the traditional train still being used in various countries, they touch the rail. They create friction with the rail, which produces heat and loses energy, all that could not boost the speed. If the speed increases up to a maximum level, the train will either start to feel resistance due to air pressure or heat up the wheels. The flying train China is developing follows the magnetic levitation style, but with the change, the bullet trains often reach a speed of up to 500 kilometers. Because they technically fly, they don't touch the rails. But since the speed is high, they have to face air pressure right at the head. No matter how streamlined the trains can be, air pressure will affect the speed. Because of this, the velocity of the bullets might reach a specific level. Increasing the train's speed beyond that point won't make a difference before it begins to encounter significant resistance. The following is the consensus of the Chinese engineers on the flying train that was capable of speeds up to 4,000 kilometers per hour. In reality, what they accomplished was maintain the train in a state of magnetic levitation while simultaneously lowering the air pressure to zero. The question is, how is it even possible? Even if magnetic levitation can be employed, there still has to be a way to prevent air pressure. So the plan is to utilize some kind of tube that is completely devoid of air. It fits much better with the concept of a hyperloop, in which a train will fly through the tube using magnetic levitation. The hyperloop will thereafter be a tunnel that is completely devoid of any air resistance, allowing it to travel at extremely high speeds. Although this idea was presented previously, a Chinese aerospace company has just now begun research and development on it for the very first time. The goal is to construct trains that can go for 4,000 kilometers. After the completion of the tests with flying colors, they will first reach a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour, then 23,000, and then 4,000 kilometers before reaching their final destination. That is an incredible 1.5 times quicker than the maximum speed that a J-10 fighter jet is capable of traveling. Instead of simply developing variations of 1,000 and 2,000, 3,000 kilometers per hour in factories and limiting speed testing to those sites, China plans to employ these variants in scenarios that are more representative of the actual world. As a consequence of this, during the first phase of the project, the variant of the high-speed transit system that operates at a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour will be implemented in metropolitan areas. Later, when the variant that travels at a speed of 2,000 kilometers per hour is made available, it will connect all of the cities that were mostly reachable by air travel in the past. And in the third stage, a version will be obtained that travels at a speed of 4,000 kilometers per hour, and once it is attained, it will be employed to replace any and all other forms of transportation. China does not want to put its transportation system on hold so that it may focus on constructing a model that is capable of 40,000 kilometers per hour, but this is now the only option. Instead, it is interested in making use of the most innovative technologies that the aerospace firm has produced in recent years. To put it another way, China would rather make little adjustments to the system than completely revamp the transportation infrastructure. This is because China believes that these smaller adjustments would have a greater impact. Once the required infrastructure has been developed for the variation that can go at 1,000 kilometers per hour, it will be sufficient for all of the succeeding variants that come after it. Because the technology behind each iteration of the Hyperloop is the same, there won't be a need to make any adjustments to the physical infrastructure of the system. Despite the fact that this is an effective method, there is still the question of whether or not a flying train that travels at speeds of up to 2,500 miles per hour is safe. In spite of the fact that it could appear like going at a speed of 4,000 kilometers per hour will be similar to traveling at a pace that will shatter your neck in real life, this is not the case. Because the flying speed is being constructed using all of the principles of physics, it follows that this train won't in any way be harmful to the human body. This is because the train will be operating in a vacuum the entire time it is in operation, so there won't be any air for the human body to be exposed to. The passenger on the train won't be aware of any abrupt movements taking on around them because they are seated. To put it another way, the experience of riding the flying train will be exactly the same as riding the train in the metro. China will need to make expenditures in the building of the Hyperloop as well as the production of train modules in order to bring flying trains into the station. The research initiative is already showing signs of being highly productive and is supplying fresh insights to Chinese industry professionals. They have arrived at the conclusion that the technology of high-temperature maglev should be applied if they wish for these trains to run over the track at a faster pace. It is the total antithesis of the vision that Western scientists held, which was concentrated on the development of low-temperature maglev technology. It is a common misconception in Western society that a metal would behave like a superconductor when heated to a high temperature. However, this is not the case in traditional Chinese culture, where it is thought that the opposite is true. Recent speculation has suggested that the Chinese account could be true, and that China would be the only country in which it would be possible for the rest of the world to view the fabled 8 wonders. The bullet train in the sky that can reach speeds of 4,000 kilometers per hour. What are your thoughts? Will China be successful in all stages of the development of the flying train? Comment. Read below in the comments section. Click on this video to watch about another amazing project.